now that we have Evans here, we are about to select the groups for BlitzChamps, another excellent idea to come from the Collins Coalition in a now what is turning into a long series of excellent online events. I did see in the chat a couple of people. I know we had sort of this internal deliberation of like, oh, it's lagging a little. That's okay. It hopefully it will pop back, but the deliberation over what to do with these Dave Wiegand and Matthew O'Connor type situations of people who look like ringers in the lower groups. But Evans, do you want to talk a little bit about just the thought process for just sort of keeping it the way it is with the rating system?
Yeah, I mean, it's a difficult question. There's no clear right answer to it. I wanted to find a way to organize players into seeds for these groups that was standardized and fair to everybody. And if it were just like my subjective opinion or your subjective opinion of who's good and who's not, that wouldn't really be the fairest way to do it. And really, Westfield ratings are the only standardized fair way to evaluate everybody. Obviously, there's going to be some flaws in that. There's going to be some players who are underrated in Westfield, players who are overrated in Westfield, what have you. You mentioned Dave Wiegand. I think he's somebody who's probably, I haven't checked the stats, but he's probably at like a decade low in Westfield ranking. I think he had like one bad tournament in New Orleans, like right before the pandemic started, and like hit at like an all-time rating low. So it's really just a bizarre fluke that Dave is not one of the top players in the field, and instead he's like 12th or whatever.
Yeah.
So, like I was saying, there's no perfect way to standardize an evaluation for every single player. There's going to be some flaws here and there. Um, Obviously, Dave is quite low for his skill level. Matthew O'Connor is, of course, like you mentioned, a very, very strong blitz player who's going to be probably overperforming his number 4 seed, but we'll see. Somebody like Jackson Smiley, who's played like 1 or 2 tournaments in Westfa and clearly could be rated higher if he played more, is another example. There's a lot of examples like that. There's no perfect way to evaluate everybody. We're doing the best we can.
Yeah, I think it's the most reasonable thing to do is just put everybody where the ratings say and let the group of death be born if that is the destiny of that group.
Yeah.
So I guess without further ado, we can I'll just quickly cut to the full seeds again for everybody to look at if people are watching along and getting ready to see where they land. You can see on the screen right now, we did have a last minute change as one of our number 10 seeds, Jake Gander, dropped out and was replaced by none other than Paul Gallen of Ireland. So as if there weren't enough good players already, just put him in too. Why not? So yeah, I mean, this is pretty insane. So do we want to just do a quick recap of the eventual format too before we pick? I'll just go
Sure.
back to
Yeah.
the.
So, I mean, this is the second tournament we've done with a pretty similar format to this one, where, like the Virtual World Cup we did last year, it's a bunch of people being grouped together in groups, and they're going to play a few rounds of pool play within their group, and then there's going to be playoffs after that. So this is our second time doing a selection show on your screen. We did this for the World Cup as well.
Did
And,
someone say
for
spamming
the FIFA
nonsense?
World Cup for
In
football, what
Rosen
they do
steak
is they
sticks
put
taking
all the
Rosen
teams into
toggy
what's called
bungee
pots, and
spongy
they
black
draw
said Chucky Zack said
countries
Josh
out of each
face
pot.
one to
There's a
12 and me
pot full
one
of
to
1 seeds,
12
pot full of
bungee.
2 seeds, pot full of 3 seeds, and so on. And so, of course, for the World Cup last year, what we did was literally use pots and pans from my kitchen, and we
That's
would draw
right.
countries pots. Um, we were talking about running it back for this event now and drawing players out of pots again, and I realized I don't own 10 pots. We had to, revise the model a little bit, and what we're going to be doing this time is using my coffee mugs from my cabinet. So we have mugs numbered from 1 to 10, and there are a bunch of players' names in each mug, and I'm going to not drop them everywhere because that'd be bad. So yeah, we're going to take 10 mugs. We're going to draw one player of each seed out of each mug for each group, and eventually we'll have 10 total groups of 8 players, and they should be relatively evenly matched. Each group's going to have one seed, 1 2, 1 3, and so on. What's going to happen from there is we're going to have, like I said, 10 groups of 8, and
Wait,
each
it's eight. Is it not eight
eight
groups
groups
of 10?
of 10. My bad.
Okay, yeah, because we're gonna eventually have a 16. Go
Correct.
ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to have groups of 10, right? And everybody's going to play everybody once. So if you're the 1 seed in your group, you're going to play the 2, the 3, the 4, all the way down to the 10 seed in your group. Everybody's going to play everybody once. And then after that, the top two teams, or top two players rather, from each group advance to a 16-person bracket for the championship. So you've got to be basically top 20%, right? Top two players out of a group of 10 to advance.
There's going to be some groups where there's going to be 3 or 4 or 5 excellent Blitz players, and only 2 of them will make it to the bracket. So it's going to be bonkers, quite honestly.
Exactly.
As a number 1 seed myself, I feel quite vulnerable. So,
2 seed myself, I'm terrified because I'm
yeah.
going to look at the 3 in my group and be like, oh man, they're coming for me. Whoever they are, it's going to be somebody really good, guaranteed. So
Right.
yeah, it's going to be a highly competitive tournament. Even if you're not a 3 or a 4 seed, if you're a 5, 6, 7 on down, there's just so many good players. A lot of people could contend to win this thing. I don't know what's going to happen.
It's going to be awesome. Okay. I am ready. If you have your array of mugs, I am
I do.
standing by and ready to officially, along with you, to create these groups for everybody to see who they're playing.
Okay.
So,
One, you'll call it.
what's that?
So we're just going to start with group one, I guess you'll call it.
Sure, yeah. All right,
All
so
right.
here we go. Wait, I might have a drum roll. Well, the drum roll is going to be like, yeah. I mean, it's sort of like there's no point in doing a drum roll because you're going to be picking 10 names, so that's not quite as
Yeah, I don't
binary
know.
as the virtual World Cup. So I would say just have at, and I'll put the names up. Are you going to go groups 1 on down, or will you go for dramatic tension from 10 up?
Oh, let's just go from one on down. So I feel
Okay.
like the most dramatic part is, well, I don't know. Let's just start from one and keep going.
All right.
All right.
Very good. The
All
top
right.
seed of the first group will be
David Eldar.
David Eldar. Blam. All
Yeah.
right.
Hopefully I'll see you to start.
Who will have the honor of facing off against David Eldar in this first group?
All right. I'm
We
gonna.
have to imagine that David Eldar is among the stronger Blitz players out there.
Yeah. I'm whale these and not throw myself. I don't. I don't want to play them. Just kidding.
Seed number 2.
Webinto.
Wei-Bin. Now, don't those two have a very healthy rivalry in terms of they play a lot online and are friendly and such? So, oh man, a matchup between those two. Must watch TV as far as I'm concerned. All right, seed 3,
Kevin Fraley.
Kevin Fraley. Now, that is an interesting one because sometimes the players that play slowly in their normal, games, as Kevin is a deliberate player, sometimes they do that because they're really good at Blitz. So maybe Kevin is going to come out guns blazing in this. We'll see.
Let's see. All right. Number 4 is Anand Bharadwaj.
Anand Bharadwaj. Okay, so he is. I definitely know of him to be a quick player too. Maybe we should just pick the groups and then you'll talk about them.
Yeah, we don't have to analyze all 80 people. That would
Yeah,
take a
it's
while.
gonna take forever. So let's let
All
you
right.
pick.
We'll speed up a little bit. All right. Number 5 in the first group is Sean Abassi.
Ooh, Sean. Okay, very good.
Number 6 is Harry Wiggins.
Harry Wiggins. I feel like he's a little underseeded.
Yeah, he was pretty good in the virtual World Cup for South Africa, I believe.
Yeah, I
So,
think of him as a bit of a ringer, so he could take some people down.
all right. Number 7, Andrew Goldberg.
Andrew Kohlberg, and so that's 2 South Africans in a row, I think.
Yeah, what are the odds? Not very good.
Not super good, yeah.
Number 8, your newest subscriber, Cornelia Guest.
Cornelia Guest. And of course, we thank Cornelia again for her generosity and just general badassery as a coach. All right.
Number 9, Arvind Iyengar.
All right. Is this a relation to any current Scrabble Iyengars?
I don't know the answer to that question.
I think it's a common name. Yeah, I don't want to
Right.
necessarily assume. Yeah.
All
And
right,
last but not least,
I dropped one. I'll make that my draw. That's the rule in Scrabble, right? If you drop a tile, you've drawn it.
Absolutely.
All right. Number
Pick it
10 is in
up.
the floor, and it is Latif Oyewole.
Okay. Our first group complete: David Eldar, Weibin, Kevin Fraley, Anand, Sean, Harry, Andrew Goldberg, Cornelia, Arvind, and Latif. Now I'm going to take a screenshot of this just so that we have them all afterwards. And I'll just save this as group 1. Okay, so now I have this for later.
Okay.
All right. Let us continue on now. Hold on a second. What I'm going to do is basically reset this screen, and we're going to call this group 2. Let's make sure that I have that correct, though. So again, I have the group 1 screenshot somewhere or other. Oh, there it is. So afterwards, we can get a quick review of all of the groups. Will, how in the hell did you do this? Don't even ask. And I'm almost ready to begin picking our second group. So a couple of the top players. Well, it's going to be, there's way more elite players to come. But David Eldar and Weibin off the board for selection now. Okay, Evans, I'm ready for group 2.
All right.
Let's do
number
it.
1, 2.
And this is, we're getting, Jen is saying this is the Buffalo group, as you alluded to earlier. So
It's for Buffalo. So Group Buffalo, number 1 seed is another Australian, Chris May.
Chris May. Now, Chris May is a very, very strong player, of course. I actually don't know how good he is at Blitz, but I have to assume as good of an overall player as he is, he's got to be strong. So that's not an easy start for anybody that's saying Chris May. Well, at least it's not, Conrad or somebody. So, all right, continue. Sorry.
Number 2 overall seed. Oh, this is great. We got Chris May. We got Edward Oculus.
Oh, wow.
He's going at random.
I mean, did they really need to join BlitzChamps? Couldn't they just do an Australian, Blitz tournament together? Is that so? Let me guess. Number 3, who's an Australian in that group? I'm not even sure. Jacob Teitelbaum.
Let's draw one and find out. Number 3 in this group will be Brian Bowman.
Brian Bowman. So not an Australian, but basically a Nigerian, you might say. An honorary Nigerian, so a true, worldly flair here in Group 2 so far.
All right.
Onward.
4. Amit Chakrabarti.
Ooh, Amit. Pretty good for a 4 seed, I have to say. On to number 5. There are some ringers as far down as Group 5, honestly.
Not this guy, though. He's terrible. We got Cesar.
It's 14 Domino. I'm sure Cesar's in the chat. Cesar, what do you think of your group so far? Any thoughts? Maybe he's in the chat. I know that I think I saw Mina there. Yes, Mina says Cesar versus the blocker. Epic matchup between those two. Let's hope. Seed 6 in Group 2.
Alex Tan.
X14 Dom Woogles, X14 Dom Woogles, X14 Dom Woogles, Axert Chokies, Axert
Benji spamming emotes. All right. On to seed 7 in Group 2. Let's see who it is.
Joe McGinley.
Joe McGinley. Perhaps he will stream some games. Who knows? Joe, if you're out there, good luck to you. All right, let's finish it off with the seeds 8, 9, and 10 in Group 2.
Number 8, we got Savio Rebello.
Savio Rebello. Love that name, by the way. It just rolls off the tongue. Not too familiar, but he's got his work cut out for him, as does seed number 9.
Albert
Ang. And I will admit that when I typed his name in and looked at it again, I thought I typoed Albert Ang, but no, it is Albert Ang. All right. Let's see. Finally, in Group 2,
Roland Api.
Roland Oppie. All right, here it is. It's Group 2. Let me get a screeny of this for later. Gonna save the... Oops. Did I just accidentally... Okay, good. I didn't mess up, I don't think. Save. Group 2. Okay, so that's Group 2. Wow, what do we think of this group? Obviously, the two Australians at the top of the group know each other very well. I'm sure they must have played Blitz against each other over the years. Hubert says Alex Tan makes it the group of death. So perhaps some thoughts that Alex is underseeded there as the 6th seed in this group. But yeah, Cesar says Group 2, definitely the toughest group by far. So I'm seeing a lot of the people. Andrew Fisher, Aphis99 in the chat, nice to see you, says Edward plays Blitz in regular games, so perhaps somebody to watch as a player comfortable playing fast who could do some damage here as a 2 seed. All right, that's Group 2. Let's reset the group and just give me 1 second and we'll be ready for Group 3. So I would say with David Eldar and Chris May and Ed off the board this quickly, there's not too many Australians. I guess it's Andrew Fisher waiting for his placement. But other than that, that's one strong Scrabble playing contingent almost completely spoken for already.
Yeah.
And they've been, they basically turned out in, the exact Alchemist team for the Virtual World Cup. So really good. Oh, what did I do here? There we go. Brian's off. Okay, I am now ready to select Group 3. Let's see who's gonna lead off Group 3 in the BlitzChamps.
Number 1 seed is Jesse Day.
Jesse Day. A formidable opponent in any format for sure. And again, somebody that takes his time when he has time to spend. But I think of Jesse as being exactly one of those types of players who takes his time because his blitz game is very strong. So he can afford to do that. All right, onward. Who will be the lower seeds in this group? Seed
Number
2.
Chris Grubb.
Chris Grubb. I think of Chris as being pretty solid in Collins. I've seen a few, annotated games of his where he's played some pretty flashy Collins words. Maybe not somebody that people know as much as a Dave Wiegand for a number 2 seed, but still very solid player. All right, onward.
Number 3. Zach Dang.
Zach Dang. All right. A Coco committee member, as if I'm not mistaken, as well. So
Yeah.
Great guy
Nice.
too. Really like Zach. Okay, to number 4.
Jackson Smiley.
Jackson Smiley. I just played a few games against Jackson, and he had no trouble defeating me in a bunch of games. So definitely a 4 seed that these top seeds don't want to see. Onward to number 5.
Janul De Silva.
Janul De Silva. Okay, so Janul De Silva, I believe, is a 3-time former World School Scrabble runner-up. So he has an absolute pedigree, and those school Scrabblers play fast. So pretty sure that could be a pretty strong 5 seed there.
All right, number 6. Victor Tung.
Victor Tung. Very nice. I've only sort of met Victor online relatively recently. Great guy. On to seed 7.
Indunil Amarasinghe.
Indunil. And there is one of, well, actually, I did not have to shorten his name box here, amazingly. It barely fits. But yeah, Indunil, number 7 seed. All right, 8, 9, and 10.
All right, number 8. Another name you might have had to shorten. Dipankar Chatterjee.
Yes, that's definitely another name that was shortened. Dipankar, the 8 seed, and number 9. If I'm guessing it's going to be at this rate, Mabinda.
No, it is Lalu Bashel.
Okay, so a much shorter one. Just for the record, this is the name I thought it was going to be, but it's not. It's Lalu Bashel. All right, and finally, rounding out group 3, the 10 seed.
Number 10 is Ayman Zufari.
Okay. Amon, who actually followed my Twitch channel not too long ago. Not sure if he's watching, but all right. That's it. Group 3, Jesse, Chris, Zach, Jackson, and Janul. I feel like this group has some strong players even deep into the seedings. Like just Jackson and Janul as a 5, that looks a little bit dangerous for the top seeds in this group. So we'll have to see whether they prove that right going forward. All right, I have my screenshot of group 3. And we have a few more groups to go. Let me get this ready. Let's erase the board and let me prepare for group 4. All right. So there are still some big dominoes to fall in the selection. So give me 2 seconds and we can start picking group 4. Almost ready. Okay. I am all set, and let's rev it up. Group 4, about to be selected. Who will be the top seed in this group?
It is Conrad Bassett-Bouchard.
Conrad Bassett-Bouchard, a player so good at Blitz that he's literally driven me to the brink of insanity by how difficult he is to defeat. So, yeah, there you go. All right, Conrad is predicting Here Comes Dave Wiegand. Let's see if he's accurate.
I'm trying.
Oh, Evans is trying to get that hex going.
I'm not trying to draw me, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, let's see who it is.
Number 2 is me.
Evans Clinchy facing off against Conrad. Evans, our Coco co-president and co-event director, gets the honor of playing alongside Conrad in Group 4. And who will be the 3 seed in this group?
All right, number 3 is Jacob Teitelbaum.
Jacob Teitelbaum. I think that is possibly a dark horse 3 seed. I think of Jacob as being a very strong player and fast player. So let's see. That's a good top 3. Who's coming in number 4 here? Let's have a look.
Peter Armstrong.
Peter Armstrong. Oh, that's a toughie. That is an underseeded 4 seed for sure here. I think a former North American college champion as a 4 seed speaks for itself. All right.
Yeah, he's only getting the money at Worlds like 3 times. No big deal.
Yeah, pretty much. Peter Armstrong, very strong player, of course.
Number 5, Cedric Lewis.
Cedric Lewis. There's somebody that I feel like can take a game off anybody. His word knowledge is pretty deep. So dark horse 5 seed maybe. Let's see. I think he's in the chat there. Budak. Number 6 seed.
If I could pick one up. There we go. Number 6 is Martin DeMello.
Martin DeMello. Martin, awesome guy. Met him at one of your Hood River tournaments for the first time.
And props to Martin for designing a lot of the scripts that we use to run pairings and standings and stuff. A lot of these virtual things without Martin, so really thankful for that.
Yeah, very, very handy with that sort of thing. All right. Rounding out the bottom portion of Group 4. Let's see.
All right, number 7, Mark Francelon.
Mark Francelon. Yeah, another that, as Benji said before that, this is the Hood River group, and now even more so with Mark Francelon. Okay, 8 seed in Group 4.
Number 8 is Adrian Bailey.
Adrian Bailey. Very supporter of the stream, Adrian Bailey. All right, and now, seed 9. Let's see who gets the honor of facing these very difficult players.
Number 9 is Daniel Dugovic.
Dan Dugovic, that's Todovsky. Not sure if he's watching along, so Todovsky's going to have the honor of facing off against some tough players. David Eldar says, how many people get through the group stage? 2 per group. So it's very tight. It's going to be hard. It's going to be tough to escape. Some good players are not going to make it. All right, and lastly, seed 10
is Dorothy Okach.
Dorothy Okach. All right. That's it for group 4. Let me do a little screenshot of this while Evans, obviously you have to weigh in on this as you are in this group. What are your impressions of it?
That I should just resign now, probably. Yeah, I mean, Conrad, Jacob, Pete, like everybody you look at in this group is going to be really strong. Yeah, I'm nervous. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, it's going to be a very solid group for sure. There are some lower down seeds that can potentially take a game off of the top seeds in this group. I also think of Conrad as being very, very good at Blitz, so it's going to be a tough situation for anybody in this group. That was a tough one. All right, stand by just a second and we'll be ready. So we're at the halfway point now. We've picked half of our groups. If you're watching along and your name has not been called yet, it's coming very soon. So, all right, this is going to be group 5. Ready when you are, Evans, with the top seed in group 5. I haven't heard my name yet.
Well, you will now. Your name, Will Anderson.
Oh, and out it comes. All right. So there I am at the top of this group. It's me, Group 5's number 1 seed. And who will I be facing off against? The number 2 seed.
Your number 2 seed is Benji.
Oh, it's Benji. Wow. All right. I have a hell of a time beating Benji in Blitz. So... all right, let's get it on then. 2 streamers in the top group here in group 5.
Ooh, 2 streamers and 2 wooglers. Number 3 is Doug Brockmeyer.
Doug Brockmeyer. Oh boy. I think Doug, man, the only issue with Doug is how much Collins he knows, because if we're playing TWL, I don't like that matchup for me at all. He's a very good Blitz player. Okay, next in group 5.
Your 4 seed will be Ricky Pernomo.
Ricky Pernomo. I think I've seen Ricky in the chat here, Sonic Rick. Ricky, what do you think of this group so far as we go on to seed 5 in group 5? All right, into the mug goes Evan's hand.
All right, number 5 is Lukman Owolabi.
Oh, that was, to me, that was such a whammy of a 5 seed. Just took down the virtual Crescent City Cup. Oh, Benji, that doesn't help. That does not help this group at all to see Lukman come out here. All right, on to seed 6, halfway point of this group.
Number 6, BJ Premore.
BJ, good friend of mine. Really like BJ. Not sure if BJ's hanging out in the chat, waiting to see where he's been selected. But if you are out there, BJ, good to see you. Looking forward to playing. Next up.
Number 7, Amalan Iyengar.
Oh, another good young player who probably has no problem playing fast. Okay. Next, 8 seed in this group. Good father requesting a dab. I'll dab for my group. And this seed is?
Number 8 is Rajiv Antal.
Rajiv Antal. Don't know Rajiv, but this is going to be a tough group for all of us, regardless. Okay.
Number 9 is Zoom.
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
So
oh, Moses. Moses, yes. Yeah, Moses Azum. We have to get on the Zoom with Moses Azum. All right, and lastly.
Number 10 is Thabo Lokwai.
All right. Thabo Lokwai on that, and that is it. Okay, so I guess it's now for me to think about this group and describe my feelings as I have been given my group, and I think it's I don't think it's a group of death but I think it's not easy. That means I'm going to have to outperform all of these people except one can do better than me. Oh man, that's going to be tough. So, not the easiest group. Don't love to see Lukeman as a 5 seed. Doug can take any of us down. All right. It could have been worse, but it could have been better, is what I'll say for myself as the top seed in that group. All right, give me 2 seconds, and we will move on to Group 6. Still some big dominoes yet to fall, including the Dave Wiegand number 2 seed Whammy has yet to come down. And also there's some other low seeds that I think of as kind of Whammy-esque that are still yet to come. So let's see. I am now ready to start drawing for Group 6. Evans, anytime.
Top seed in Group 6 will be the newest member of the field, Paul Gallen.
Paul Gallen, so solid. Such a good player. I've always been impressed with Paul Gallen's play. Whenever I've seen it, I have no doubt he can bring it in Blitz as well.
Hey there, buddy. Looking forward to some games.
All right, Benji. Continuing the spam. And who will the number 2 seed be in Group 6?
Number 2, Pyotr Andronowski.
Oh, yes. So there's somebody I think is of as a strong Blitz player as well. So decidedly UK flair so far, or however you would say that. So let's see if that continues.
It does not. Number 3 is Josh Sokol.
Josh Sokol. All right, Josh, what do you think? Josh has been selected. He says OMG in the chat. Replace and redeemed Anders Wilson. I'll do that later. We'll just finish this off. I'll refund your points maybe. All right. Group 6, seed 4.
Number 4 will be, oh boy, there's one of the whammies, Matthew O'Connor.
That's a big one, a big domino to fall. Oh man, Matthew O'Connor, a player so good at Blitz, at Ultra Blitz, that basically he sits with his Seeks in the Woogles menu for hours, nobody willing to take them. Certainly not myself. So there you go. Matthew O'Connor. That is a whammy seed for sure as a 4 seed. All right. Onward.
Is Irfan Siddiqui.
All right. Irfan Siddiqui. Hold on. Wait. Why don't I see him? Is it? Yeah. Okay. I just didn't rename. Very good. Irfan. And moving on.
Number 6 is Leon Tan.
Okay, Leon Tan as a 6 seed. We also had Alex Tan as a 6 seed, but this is Leon Tan joining this group.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Onward to seed 7, group 6.
7 is Sumit Sachdev.
Okay. Sumit Sachdev. Tough group rounding out here. Onward to seed 8.
Seed 8 is Jack Moran.
Jack Moran. That feels a little underrated too. So this is the group getting tougher all the time. And now let's finish it off. Seed 9.
Seed 9 is Lloyd Pierce.
Lloyd Pierce. Don't know where is Lloyd from? Just out of curiosity, do we know that?
I don't remember. I can check that for you.
No, it's okay. I was just curious. We'll figure it out, of course. And seed 10.
Seed 10 is Kavindu Malawarachi.
All right, there's definitely a name that I shortened to fit onto the screen. Kavindu, finishing off Group 6. All right, so we see Matthew O'Connor in this group, a very, very strong Blitz player, coupled with some very strong players at the top of the field. And Josh Sokol in the chat, definitely a capable Blitz player in his own right, could easily see some of the lower seeds make it out of this group. This will be a tough one. So any thoughts on Group 6, Evans, as I reset the groups here?
Yeah, I mean, we were talking before this show about how there's certain players that are a bit underrated and could be a whammy. I mean, 2 of them in this group, Josh and Matt both, could easily finish higher than their seed. So it's going to be a scary group for anybody.
For sure. All right, let me start at resetting this now. And I'll be ready in just a minute. Wow, okay, so only 2 more groups. If you're watching along and your name hasn't been called, it's going to happen very soon. Well, assuming you registered for BlitzChamps, of course, and if you didn't, I don't know what you were thinking, because this is going to be an amazing event. I'm very excited, even though I am very likely to get steamrolled at some point. All right, Group 7. Ready when you are, Evans. The top seed.
The final Aussie number 1, Andrew Fisher.
Andrew Fisher. So now Andrew Fisher at the top of Group 7, as you said. Yes, one of the last Aussies yet to be called. And we'll see who will face off with Andrew in Group 7 as the number 2 seed.
Oh, there he is.
Dave Weekend. Oh, tough luck for Andrew. Basically competing alongside what can only be considered another number 1 seed. I think Dave Weekend is potentially one of the favorites to win this event, just based on what I've seen from him playing Blitz. So not sure how many other people I'd put ahead of Dave as a favorite to win this. So, all right, who will face off against these 2 very amazing opponents in Group 7?
All right. Seed number 3 is Hubert Wee.
Hubert Wee. Oh, man. There's another guy that literally just got bumped down into Group 3 when Paul Gallen came aboard. So, I mean, this is rounding out to be a really tough group here. Let's see who is the 4 seed in this group, Group 7.
Number 4 is Ryan Sutton.
Ryan Sutton. I don't know too much about Ryan. He must have a solid rating to be this high up as a seed in such a stacked field. So he has quite the tall order ahead of him with these 3 players in the group. So, all right, seed 5, Group 7.
James Curley.
James Curley. James, are you out there? What are your thoughts on being in this group? If you are in the chat, James. Onward to seed 6 in Group 7.
Number 6 is Nathanon Limthongcam.
Nathanon Limthongcam. Benji just redeemed a Joe Edley impression. I'll try to. Well, it's a tough group. Group 7. It's not easy. Andrew Fisher, Dave Wiegand. He's a good opponent. It's a little too much like my Bob Lynn. All right. Okay. Seed 7.
Number 7 is Hride Samtani.
Ooh. Hride is a guy that I have a Scrabble Go revolving game with, and I feel like he does not back down from a challenge, which he is going to get in Group 7 for sure. All right. Seed 8.
Number 8 is Priya Fernando.
Priya Fernando. Seed 8. These low seeds, this is a tough group, man. This is one of the tougher ones, for sure. Seed 9.
Mabinda Isaac Jonathan.
Okay, Mabinda Isaac Jonathan. He's got 3 names, and he's going to need all 3 of them and then some to compete against the players in this group. All right. Seed 10.
Number 10 is Chi Meng Lee.
Chi Meng Lee. Okay, that's it. Group 7 complete. Wow. That we have finally seen Dave Wiegand now. And that is a tough blow to anyone in this group to have basically a favorite level player in this tournament appear as a number 2 seed, along with Andrew, a bona fide number 1 seed. So, yikes. Tough group here.
And Hubert was a number 2. He just got bumped down to 3 this morning.
Yeah, this one looks pretty brutal to me, I have to say. So, all right, let's reset it. And eagle-eyed people that haven't heard their name may realize that you're about to get called as part of the final group in Group 8, but let's not spoil the surprise too much as I reset the group, and we will pick our final group of the BlitzChamps event. And then, Evans, will you basically know some of the fun pairings in the first part? I mean, what is your vision for what we'll do after? I have all the screen caps, so we can go through the groups again.
So I've actually a list of all the pairings in order, and I can kind
Awesome.
of go through it. But basically, we're going to have the 1s versus 10s in the opening week, 2 versus 9, 3, 8, 4, 7, and 5, 6.
Gotcha.
So I think the most interesting matchups in week 1 are going to be those middle seeds, like the 5 against 6 and 4 against 7 games. We can talk about those a little bit if you want.
Sure, yeah. I mean, there's going to be there's just so much fun content coming as part of this event, so we can definitely get started looking at some of those good early matchups. Okay. Group 8. Let me get it ready. And whenever you're ready to say who is that final seed that we've been waiting to hear.
So I've already emptied card number 1.
The cup is empty, and Austin Shin is in Group 8. So yeah, I don't know if David Eldar is aware that he was in Group 1. We'll show his group later. If you got here midway and didn't hear your name, that might be because you were in an early group. So Austin Shin, the last name to be called, and in the second seed in Group 8.
Let's dump out that mug, and the final name in it is Jeff Teveno.
Jeff Teveno. Oof. A tough, good veteran Collins player right there as a number 2 seed. Number 3 in Group 8.
Jumping out number 3. Final name in there is Enoch Nwali.
Enoch Nwali. Up and coming, fast rising player from Nigeria. I'm sure he can bring it in Blitz. Those players, I just see some of the top Nigerian players play Blitz constantly. So I have no doubt he's very strong. Let's see who's the number 4 seed in this group.
Number 4 is Aaron Bader.
Aaron Bader. So Aaron in the chat, physics is fun. Any thoughts on this group so far from Aaron? Aaron's a fun player to watch play. Great word knowledge, as anyone knows that Aerolith's on stream with him. Number 5 seed
is Ryan Fisher.
Ryan Fisher. Ryan might be in the chat waiting to hear his name called. What do you think, if you're out there, Ryan, of this group? Seed 6 coming up.
Seed 6 is Mina Lee.
I've seen Mina remarking on some of the picks so far. Mina, what do you think of this group? It's a toughie, too. I mean, they all are, but this one pretty good. Ooh, thank you to Namuthu Witharana. That is a World Youth Championship competitor. Nice to see you. Thanks for the follow. Okay, Evans, seed 7.
Seed 7 is Abid Ismail.
Abid Ismail. All right. Seeds 8, 9, and 10 to round it off, and we will have our groups set. Seed 8.
Number 8 is Arindam Basu.
Arindam Basu, who I think is a very loyal player of the Coco club tournaments, if I'm not mistaken.
A lot of the club sessions and a lot of the one-day tournaments too. Yeah, he's been a loyal customer.
Nice.
Number 9 is Rob Barcelone.
All right, Rob Barcelone. The Rob Barcelone. I don't really know what I'm punning there. All right, and lastly, the final seed. Seed 10 in Group 8.
Is Idorenyan Anthony.
Idorenyan Anthony. All right. That is it. We have Group 8 finished off. Let me get the screenshot of this bad boy as well. And we're going to save this as G8. Okay. Now, I have all my screenshots to potentially load up again. Now, let me just see how they're going to look on here. So basically, I need to get them sized right. And then we can look at all of these in just a minute when I copy this. All right, so David Eldar can now see that he is here. Now, let me try to get this looking good. All right, copy, duplicate. Will this work? Yes, it will. Okay, give me a few seconds, everybody, and we will have all the groups up on screen for you guys. Let me just make it look nice. So, all right, Evans. So, do you have a bead on any of the good matchups in the early going as I get these groups up on screen for people to look at here?
Well, I mean, so like I said, we're going to be starting with the number 1 against number 10, and then going inside from there: 2 versus 9, 3 versus 8, 4 versus 7, and 5 versus 6. So there's going to be, some lopsided matchups, the 1s versus 10s and whatnot. But I think in the middle, the 4-7 and the 5-6 are going to be some really interesting, really close matchups. I actually don't have the groups in front of me the way you do, so I can't like read off who's playing who in the first round the way you can. But
Okay. So in just a minute, I'll be able to do that for people. Just looking at some of these groups. So you said it was 4, 7, 5, 6, right?
yeah. So the 4 versus 7 and the 5 versus 6, I think will be the most interesting.
So in the early going. So the groups that I have put up, I think Cedric Lewis, Martin DeMello should be a fun one. Let me just see. Sean Abbasi versus Harry Wiggins. That should be another fun one. Let me just make sure I get all these. So it's group 5. Sorry for this being painstaking, but we'll get him up in just a second. 5. And project the Blitz page in a browser if that's easier for me. I'm not even sure what that means.
Is that Jennifer telling you that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've already got the groups live on the website. You can go to cocoscrabble.org right now.
Oh, you have the groups up. Okay, in that case.
So and then Jennifer's putting them on the internet right away, so they're already live on the.
Then I don't need to do this. Well, I'm so close to done. But I will go. I will go do that. Now, what link would I take to do that? BlitzChamps entrance list. Here it is. Okay, beautiful. Oh, it looks beautiful too. Okay. Forget about this. Let's just do. Let me see. How can I do this best? We have the 2 of us here. 2 of us here. Yeah. Here's how I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get rid of all these. And we're going to get rid of the group name, and we're going to do a window capture of the Collins Coalition, Beautiful Animals. Okay, now, let me make this as big as I can for everybody to see. Okay, perfect. Didn't have to do all of that stuff. Thank you to Becky in the chat there. All right, here we go. So now we can see all the groups so easily. I can't believe they're already there. That is super, super impressive. I'm not sure if that was Jen doing that in tandem with us. Okay, so Sean versus Harry, Anand versus Andrew from the Aardvark group, Cesar versus Alex, Jackson versus Indu Neil, Peter Armstrong versus Mark Francelon. Those are 2 people I'm very fond of in that top group. Okay. And then let's see. Oh man, Lukeman versus BJ, Matthew versus Sumit. That's a very difficult matchup for Sumit as a number 4 seed for sure. James Curley versus Nathanon, who I'm not sure if that's like a younger player from Thailand. Those guys are very strong. Ryan versus Mina. So dare I ask, what is the schedule for the number 1 seeds? Who will I be playing?
They're playing the bottom seeds in order. 10 plays 1, 9, 8, 7, 6, right up to 2.
Okay. All right. So that's going to take a while to get to those scariest matchups, including me versus Benji. Oh, boy.
That'll be the grand 9, you versus Benji, yeah.
Yeah, does anybody have any thoughts on which group do they think is the group of death? I have to say I feel right now that it is the giraffe group.
Is that
consisting of Andrew, Dave as a number 2, and Hubert as a number 3. I think that's pretty tough. I think that's pretty brutal. But let's see. Let me look at some of these groups and see what we can tell. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's honestly, Dingo group is pretty strong too, Evans. I
Which
have
one
to
is that?
say, that's you. Conrad, you, Jacob, Peter Armstrong as a 4. That's a tough one as well.
We're-
Well, okay, so the top seeds start at the bottom and work their way up, huh? All right. So remind us, what is how many we're going to be playing, how many matches over what span? This could literally take months to complete, right?
Right. I believe the finals are going to be April 24th. We're
Wow.
playing one week from now until then. So yeah, it's going to be a while.
Yeah,
Uh, everybody,
as I said to you on Facebook, the
uh,
content.
well,
Oh, the content. Yes.
so everybody who had their name called tonight is guaranteed to play for 9 weeks. No matter how well you do, you get 9 weeks of play guaranteed. You're going to play everybody in your group once. Each match is a 9 game series, and it's not best of 9 where you play to 5 and you quit. You play all 9 games no matter what. You're going to play 9 games with each player. And at the end of the 9 weeks of pool play, the top 2 players advance from each group. So the number one determinant of who advances is match record. So if you play 9 matches and you win 7 of them, you're 7-2. That's very good. The tiebreaker, if there are 2 players tied at say 7-2 or 6-3, is game record. So if you play 81 games and you go 51-30, that's not as good as somebody who went 61-20. So every game matters because it might come down to game record as a tiebreaker. So even if you're winning a match or even if you're losing a match, keep fighting for every game because they all count. And at the end of the 9 weeks, we're going to rank everybody in each group, and the top 2 players from each group advance. And then we're going to have a bloodbath for the championship, the 16 best players in a single elimination bracket to win it all.
Oh my
So
God. Yeah. I mean, just again, so now we have all the seeds nice and grouped. As you can see, we've got the 8 groups here. But again, just to go back to the full list of seeds, right? I mean, it's reasonable to expect that while many of the top seeds in the number 1 and number 2 seeds are going to get knocked out, a lot of those players are going to make it, and then all of the strong players from groups 3 and 4 and beyond that make it. It's going to be it's going to be an insane group of 16 players, honestly. No matter what. So the field is completely stacked. It's totally a testament to Coco's ability to create really compelling events and get people to buy in. It's totally exciting for me to participate. I'll be doing a little streaming as well, but it's going to be a total team effort, I think. There's going to be lots and lots of people contributing to the streaming. So I am really excited for this. And yeah, groups are selected. What else, Evans? Do we have any other business to take care of other than starting to practice as much as
that's right.
possible?
About a little bit. Get your speed game ready.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I'm gonna sign off. I'm gonna go eat some dinner, and then I'm gonna bang out a schedule for week 1. If you heard your name called tonight, check your email soon. I'm gonna send you all your pairings for week 1. I'm expecting the matches are going to be mostly Thursday through Sunday later in the week, so that you have a little bit of time to kind of plan your week. I'm not going to like swing a match on you last minute for tomorrow morning or anything. So yeah, we're going to have matches starting this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We're going to try to stream as many as we can. We've got you and I are going to stream some matches, obviously. I believe Benji and Mac Mello are also going to stream some if they can find some time.
Yeah, Josh Sokol in the chat said he would be willing to stream. He's competing, so I mean, there's probably more Scrabble than can be streamed. So I'm pretty sure if people are interested, let Evans know, let me know. We can figure
Yeah.
out how to make it happen because it's going to be amazing to have this much content coming at us. Fun Scrabble to watch at this pace too. So
Yeah, I
uh,
mean, you streamed a lot of 15 and 20-minute games of Scrabble, and you know that there's like kind of some dead time in that, and there's a little bit of a lull where you're like waiting for stuff to happen.
not in
In this,
this.
going to be none of that. No,
Nope.
it's just going to be fast-paced action every single second. It's going to be great.
Absolutely. All right. So, okay, with that, I guess we'll let you go get some food and get the pairings finalized.
All right.
But there you have it. There's our groups. Just quickly again, letting you guys look over the top groups as you see the Aardvark, Buffalo, Chipmunk, and Dingo group. And then down to the Emu. That's where I am the head Emu. And Falcon, Giraffe, and Hippo. So very exciting. Thank you, Evans. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming on. And let's do this. It's going to be great.
All right, let's go.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Evan. See ya. Okay. Wow. Our selection show is complete.